VX is an extremely toxic synthetic chemical compound in the organophosphorus class, specifically, a thiophosphonate. In the class of nerve agents, it was developed for military use in chemical warfare after translation of earlier discoveries of organophosphate toxicity and pesticide research. In its pure form, VX is an oily, relatively non-volatile, liquid that is amber-like in color. 4. Because of its low volatility, VX persists in environments where it is dispersed. 5. VX, short for venomous agent X. 6, is one of the best known of the V nerve agents and was first discovered at Porton Down in England during the early 1950s based on research first done by Dr. Gerhard Schrader, a chemist working for IG Farben in Germany during the 1930s. Now one of a broader V series of agents, they are classified as nerve agents and have been used as a chemical weapon in various recorded deadly attacks. VX fatalities occur with exposure to tens of milligram quantities via inhalation or absorption through skin. VX is thus more potent than sarin, another nerve agent with a similar mechanism of action. On such exposure, these agents severely disrupt the body's signaling between the nervous and muscular systems, leading to a prolonged neuromuscular blockade, flaccid paralysis of all the muscles in the body including the diaphragm, and death by asphyxiation. 7. The danger of VX, in particular, lies in direct exposure to the chemical agent persisting where it was dispersed, and not through its evaporating and being distributed as a vapor, i.e. it is not a vapor hazard. VX is considered an area denial weapon due to these physical and biochemical characteristics. 8. As a chemical weapon, it is categorized as a weapon of mass destruction and is banned by the Chemical Weapons Convention of 1993. 9. Where production and stockpiling of VX exceeding 100 grams, 3.53 ounces, per year is outlawed. The only exception is for research, medical or pharmaceutical purposes outside a single small-scale facility in aggregate quantities not exceeding 10 kilograms, 22 pounds, per year per facility. 10. VX is an odorless and tasteless chiral organophosphorus chemical with a molecular weight of 267.37 grams per mole. 11. Under standard conditions it is an amber-colored liquid with a boiling point of 298 degrees Celsius, 568 degrees Fahrenheit, and a freezing point of -51 degrees Celsius, -60 degrees Fahrenheit. 12. Its density is similar to that of water. 13. It has a log p-value of 2.047, meaning it is relatively hydrophobic with an about 100-fold more partitioning into octanol, over water. 14. Its low vapor pressure of 0.09 pascals, 1.3 times 10 to 5 pounds per square inch, gives it a low volatility, resulting in a high persistence in the environment. 15. When weaponized, it can be dispersed as a liquid, aerosol, or as a mixture with a clay or talc in the form of a thickened agent. 15. VX is an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. 16. It works by blocking the function of acetylcholinesterase, ACE. Normally, when a motor neuron is stimulated, it releases the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, AC, into the space between the neuron and an adjacent muscle cell. When acetylcholine is taken up by the muscle cell, it stimulates muscle contraction. To avoid a state of constant muscle contraction, the acetylcholine is then broken down, hydrolyzed, into the inactive substances acetic acid and choline by ACE. VX blocks the action of ACE, resulting in an accumulation of acetylcholine in the space between the neuron and muscle cell. On a molecular level, this leads to the ongoing stimulation and eventual fatigue of all affected muscarinic and nicotinic AC receptors. This results in initial violent contractions, followed by sustained supercontraction restricted to the fluid, sarcoplasm, of the subjunctional end plate and prolonged, depolarizing neuromuscular blockade. This quote needs a citation. The prolonged blockade results in flaccid paralysis of all the muscles in the body, and it is such sustained paralysis of the diaphragm muscle that causes death by asphyxiation. Citation needed. Accumulation of acetylcholine in the brain also causes neuronal excitotoxicity, due to activation of nicotinic receptors and glutamate release. 17. The extreme toxicity of VX is partly due to the fact that the inhibitor was designed to be an excellent structural mimic for the transition state of the natural substrate, acetylcholine, of acetylcholinesterase. VX has a very high on rate to react with the target enzyme and form a stable POC bond, phosphorylation. 18. However, compared with other highly toxic nerve agents like saman or sarin, VX undergoes relatively slow aging. Aging is a time-dependent side reaction, loss of an alkoxyl group, that occurs on nerve agents after phosphonylation and renders the nerve agent acetylcholinesterase complex highly resistant to regeneration by any known antidote. Slower aging by VX suggests it should be possible to develop more effective antidotes and treatments. 19. The reaction products of acetylcholinesterase with VX before and after the aging reaction were solved near atomic resolution by X-ray crystallography to aid in antidote development. 2021, the X-ray structures revealed the specific parts of the VX molecule that interact with key residues and subsites of the target enzyme. The structural kinetic of phosphonylation followed by aging also showed an unexpected conformational change in the catalytic triad suggestive of an induced fit between the VX molecule and acetylcholinesterase. VX is chiral at its phosphorus atom. The individual enantiomers are identified as sp, VX, and rp plus VX, where the p subscript highlights that the chirality is at phosphorus. 1. VX is produced via the transester process, which gives a racemic mixture of the two enantiomers. This entails a series of steps whereby phosphorus trichloride is methylated to produce methylphosphonous dichloride. The resulting material is reacted with ethanol to form a diester. This is then transesterified with N-diisopropylaminoethanol to produce the mixed phosphonate. Finally, this immediate precursor is reacted with sulfur to form VX. VX can also be delivered in binary chemical weapons which mix in flight to form the agent prior to release. Binary VX is referred to as VX2, 22, and is created by mixing O2-diisopropylaminoethyl, a ethyl methylphosphonate, agent QL, with elemental sulfur, agent Ni, as is done in the Big I aerial chemical bomb. It may also be produced by mixing with sulfur compounds, as with the liquid dimethyl polysulfide mixture, agent NM, in the cancelled XM736 8-inch projectile program. 23.